2004, 21 years old, and I'm steaming up this long, never-ending hill. A couple minutes ago, I just went through the 26.2 mile line, and rather than stop, get a medal, get a t-shirt, get a hug from a friend, I have 9 more miles to run. And that's when things went dark, like super dark. I flailed, I shuffled. It seemed like no matter what I did, I could not get closer to that finish line at all. And like all my early training sessions, my back-to-back long runs and tired legs, like none of that seemed to matter right now. But it was at this moment when a runner I was trying to keep up with, all she said was, hey, you're breathing really erratic right now. And I think she sounded more annoyed than trying to be helpful. But I was like, huh, I really am breathing erratically right now. I'm like huffing and puffing like crazy. I had no clue. Again, it's 2004. This is like 16 years ago. I'm not a coach yet. I'm not thinking about form yet. I'm just trying to survive my first ultra, but still, there was something in what she said to me and about my breathing that made me think that if I focused on it, it just might help. And by focusing on that, it really opened me up to something that I was missing, and I now know a lot of other runners are missing too. The thing I was missing was the ability to breathe smoothly and calmly, not just through my mouth and up into my chest and my shoulders when I was stressed out like I was going up that hill. The technique is called nose breathing. It's pretty simple. You close your mouth and you aim to breathe through your nose, not only throughout your entire day, but the vast majority of your workout, save for the very, very difficult parts. I also noticed that as I started to do this nose breathing exercise, it forced me to run with better, taller posture, to open up my rib cage and my lungs. My shoulders were more relaxed for smoother arm swing and less fatigue later. My hips and my pelvis was more stable because that diaphragm was being fully activated. My cadence and turnover was even better. I wasn't getting as many side stitches as I was before. And when I panicked, I knew what to do. This is harder than it looks. You may think, how hard is it to breathe through my nose? But if you're not used to breathing into your belly and diaphragm, it can be pretty tricky. Many of you might try this and say, impossible. My nose is blocked and congested all the time. There's no way I can breathe through this small little airway. But here's the truth. Your nose will decongest and dilate and open up the more you use it. I'll link to some of the science below in this video so you can understand why. But just by practicing regularly, we start to literally clear out the cobwebs and make this a possibility. Still, others of you may feel like you're able to breathe through your nose, but you're just out of breath all the time. You just can't get enough oxygen in. Well, here's the truth. The flow of oxygen through your nose is more than sufficient for running at really, really high levels, just minus maximum output. That feeling of breathlessness actually comes from a buildup of carbon dioxide in the body that we're just not used to yet. And actually, having a little extra CO2 buildup in our body does a lot of really great things for us and for our running. I explain it in another video that I'll link to at the end, and it'll even walk you through a breath fitness test to show you where your CO2 tolerance is and how to build it up as well. Now, I do want you to breathe through your nose throughout the day and through the vast majority of your runs eventually. Just not immediately if you've never done this before. Remember, we have to walk before we run and crawl before we walk. And so I wouldn't be a very good coach if I just said, hey, go out and run 20 miles immediately if you've never run a step in your life. We're gonna start with small 1 and 2 and 3 mile runs, building up small victories, going from there. Well, we're gonna do the same thing with our breathing, with consistent exposure to smaller, manageable doses that lead to bigger and bigger wins. In fact, I've actually just made a new nose breathing audio workout that you can download and listen to in the app right now. It's in the description of this video. There's a little link. You can download the app, get in there. And it's a nose breathing ladder workout. It builds up your ability to nose breathe in 30-second increments so that you start to small doses, get used to it, you bridge yourself out a little bit further, a little bit further, and a little bit further. And the more you do that, the better this thing becomes. And pretty soon, you'll be nose breathing continuously in no time. Fun fact about a little nose breathing, especially on these cold mornings, breathing through your nose helps warm, humidify, and filter the air so that when it hits your lungs, that harsh winter air isn't so harsh. It wasn't until I started to shift my perspective on breathing and I started to practice it every single day with this exercise that I'm about to show you in this video that things really started to accelerate for me. This daily exercise, it's a little bit different from the nose breathing test I just showed you. It actually gives you a good assessment of your CO2 tolerance, how good of a belly breather you are, and
how to improve it, all without breaking a sweat. I'll see you guys in that video. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep filming, enjoying this beautiful day. You keep earning those miles, breathing through that nose. I'll see you guys.